The Awakening of the Stone. Ethan had always been an adventurous boy with a knack for exploration. Living in a small town surrounded by dense forests and rugged mountains provided him with endless opportunities for discovery. On one particularly sunny afternoon, he decided to venture into an abandoned mine that had long been rumored to be haunted. As he stepped inside the cool darkness of the mine, Ethan felt a thrill run through him. The walls were damp and lined with strange markings that seemed to tell stories of ancient times. Armed with only a flashlight and his insatiable curiosity, he ventured deeper into the cavernous space. After wandering for what felt like hours, Ethan stumbled upon a hidden chamber illuminated by an ethereal glow. At the center of this chamber lay a stone unlike anything he had ever seen, a large crystal pulsating with vibrant colors that shifted from deep blue to fiery red. Drawn to its beauty, he approached cautiously. As he reached out to touch it, a surge of energy coursed through his fingers and into his body. He gasped as visions flooded his mind, images of great power and responsibility intertwined with shadows lurking in the corners of his thoughts. The stone felt alive beneath his touch, it was as if it recognized him. "What is this place?" Ethan whispered to himself as he withdrew his hand in shock. The glow dimmed slightly but did not disappear entirely. He glanced around nervously, he was alone in this vast underground world. After taking a moment to collect himself, Ethan decided it was time to leave. He turned back toward the entrance but felt an unusual strength surging within him, an energy that made him feel invincible yet frightened at the same time. Once outside in the fresh air, he took a deep breath and looked around as if seeing everything anew. The trees seemed taller, the sky bluer, even the sounds of nature felt amplified. He couldn't shake off the feeling that something monumental had just happened. Ethan hurried home, eager to share his experience with his best friends, Lila and Marcus, who would surely be fascinated by his discovery. As he walked through town, he noticed subtle changes in his body, he felt lighter on his feet and quicker than usual. Could it be because of that stone? Later that evening, seated on his bedroom floor surrounded by maps and sketches from previous adventures with Lila and Marcus, Ethan couldn't contain his excitement any longer. "Guys! You won't believe what I found today," he exclaimed when they arrived at his house. Lila raised an eyebrow while Marcus leaned forward with interest. "What is it? Another weird bug?" "No. It's way cooler than that," Ethan replied enthusiastically as he recounted his tale about the mine and the glowing stone. "Sounds like something out of a movie," Lila said skeptically but intrigued nonetheless. "I'm serious. I think it gave me powers," Ethan insisted as he demonstrated how effortlessly he could lift heavy objects around his room now. "Okay, let's see you lift my backpack," Marcus challenged playfully. Ethan focused on Marcus's bag lying on the floor beside him and concentrated hard. To both their astonishment, the backpack lifted off the ground without any effort from Ethan at all, it hovered in mid-air for a moment before gently dropping back down. "No way! How did you do that?" Lila gasped. "I don't know. I just thought about it," Ethan replied wide-eyed. As they continued experimenting with various objects around the room, books flying across the floor at will, Ethan felt exhilarated yet terrified by what this newfound power could mean for him. But deep down inside him lurked a sense of foreboding, he sensed that this was only the beginning of something far greater than mere tricks or games. There was an unspoken understanding among them that they were stepping into uncharted territory, a world where they would need to navigate not only their powers but also what lay beyond them. As night fell over their small town and shadows crept into every corner of their lives, none of them realized how quickly things would change, and how soon they would be tested in ways they never imagined possible. The unleashing of powers. Ethan, Lila, and Marcus gathered in Ethan's living room, their minds racing with the implications of what had just happened. The stone Ethan found in the mine was no ordinary rock, it was a source of power that could change their lives forever. As they sat in a circle, Ethan placed the glowing stone in the center, its light casting flickering shadows on their faces. The discovery of powers. What do you think it can do? Lila asked, her eyes wide with excitement and curiosity. I don't know, Ethan replied, still trying to process the surge of energy he felt when he touched it. But I felt something, like it was speaking to me. Marcus leaned forward, intrigued. Maybe we should try to use it again. See what happens. Ethan hesitated but nodded. They all placed their hands on the stone, and as they did, a wave of energy flowed through them. Suddenly, they were enveloped in a bright light. When the light faded, they looked at each other in disbelief. I feel different, Lila said, flexing her fingers as if testing new strength. Me too. Marcus exclaimed, bouncing on his feet. I feel like I could run a mile without getting tired. Ethan grinned. Let's see what we can do. Testing their limits. The trio spent the next hour experimenting with their newfound abilities. They discovered that Ethan had enhanced strength and agility, Lila could manipulate objects with her mind, and Marcus had an uncanny ability to heal minor injuries. They were exhilarated by their powers but also aware of the responsibility that came with them. Imagine what we could do with these abilities. Lila said excitedly. We could help people. Or get into trouble, Ethan cautioned. We need to be careful. Just then, they heard a commotion outside. A group of kids from their school was gathered around a boy who was being bullied by a larger kid. Without thinking, Ethan sprang into action. Come on, he shouted to Lila and Marcus as he raced outside. They followed him to the scene of the bullying. Ethan approached the bully and confronted him directly. Hey! Leave him alone. The bully turned around, surprised by Ethan's sudden appearance. What are you gonna do about it? He sneered. Ethan felt the energy surge within him and took a step forward, feeling empowered by the stone's influence. I'm not afraid of you. To everyone's surprise, Ethan's confidence seemed to intimidate the bully. He backed off slightly but then pushed Ethan hard. In that moment, something snapped inside Ethan. He felt an overwhelming rush of strength and pushed back with equal force. The bully stumbled back, shocked. The crowd gasped as they witnessed this unexpected turn of events. A new ally. As the bully retreated, Lila used her telekinetic abilities to lift a nearby trash can and send it rolling toward him as a final warning. The bully ran off, leaving behind his victim and a stunned audience. Wow! That was amazing! Marcus exclaimed as he rushed over to Ethan. The boy who had been bullied looked up at them with gratitude shining in his eyes. Thank you. I thought I was done for. Ethan smiled at him. No one should have to deal with bullies alone. Just then, a girl named Jenna stepped forward from the crowd. She had been watching everything unfold with keen interest. You guys are incredible. I've never seen anyone stand up to that jerk like that before. Ethan raised an eyebrow at her. You think so? Definitely. Jenna replied enthusiastically. I've been looking for people who can help me fight back against bullies and other problems in our school. Lila exchanged glances with Marcus and Ethan before speaking up. We're not just about fighting, we want to make things better for everyone. Jenna nodded eagerly. I get that. But sometimes you have to show people you mean business. Ethan considered her words carefully. Maybe Jenna could be an ally in their quest to use their powers for good. A warning from Jenna. As they talked more about their abilities and how they could work together, Jenna suddenly grew serious. But you guys need to be careful, she warned. There are people out there who want power like yours for themselves. What do you mean? Marcus asked. There are stories about a dark figure who seeks out powerful artifacts, Jenna explained cautiously. If this stone is as powerful as you say it is, it might attract unwanted attention. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine at her words. He hadn't considered that someone might want to take the stone from them, or worse yet, use its power for evil. We'll keep it safe, Lila said firmly, determination shining in her eyes. Jenna nodded but still looked concerned. Just promise me you'll be careful and stick together. A pact among friends. With that warning hanging in the air, Ethan suggested they form a pact, a promise to protect one another and use their powers wisely. Let's make this official, he proposed as they gathered in a circle once more around the glowing stone. One by one, they placed their hands on the stone again while reciting their commitment, to protect each other, help those in need, and never let power corrupt them. As they finished their pledge, the stone pulsed brightly once more, a sign that they were bound together by something greater than themselves. Little did they know that their newfound powers would soon be tested in ways they couldn't imagine, and that dark forces were already stirring in the shadows, watching their every move. The rise of the adversary. The sun rose over the small town, casting long shadows as Jason and his newfound friends gathered at the gold mine once more. The events of the previous day weighed heavily on their minds, the revelation of their powers, the ancient spaceship, and Zordon's warning about Rita and the Zeo crystal. They knew they had to prepare for what lay ahead. Training begins. As they entered the spaceship, Zordon greeted them with a sense of urgency. Welcome back, Rangers. Today marks the beginning of your training. You must learn to harness your abilities if you are to protect the Zeo crystal from Rita. Jason felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. He had never imagined he would be leading a team of heroes, let alone training to fight against an ancient evil. What do we need to do? He asked, trying to sound confident. Zordon gestured toward a large training room filled with various equipment and holographic displays. You will undergo physical training to enhance your strength, agility, and combat skills. Additionally, you must learn to work together as a team. Billy, always eager to learn, stepped forward. We're ready. Just tell us what we need to do. Zordon nodded approvingly. Excellent. Begin with basic combat drills. Alpha 5 will assist you. As they started their training, Jason felt a surge of determination. He led his friends through various exercises, sparring matches, obstacle courses, and teamwork challenges. They stumbled at first but gradually began to find their rhythm. A growing bond. During breaks between drills, the group shared stories about their lives before becoming Rangers. Lila talked about her love for art and how she always felt out of place in school. Marcus shared his passion for science and how he dreamed of becoming an inventor. Kimberly opened up about her struggles with friendship and self-acceptance. I never thought I'd be part of something like this, she admitted, glancing around at her teammates. It feels good to finally belong. Zach chimed in with a grin, well, we're stuck together now. Might as well make the best of it. As laughter filled the training room, Jason felt a sense of camaraderie growing among them. They were no longer just individuals with powers, they were a team united by a common purpose. The dark presence. However, unbeknownst to them, danger lurked just beyond their town's borders. Rita had awakened from her long slumber in the depths of the ocean, fueled by rage and vengeance after being trapped for millions of years. Those meddling kids, she seethed as she emerged from the water, her form shifting into that of a fearsome sorceress. They dare to challenge me? I will show them the true meaning of power. Rita summoned her loyal minion Golder from the shadows, a monstrous creature with golden armor and an insatiable thirst for chaos. Golder, she commanded, her voice dripping with malice, we must find the Zeo crystal before those Rangers can stop us. Golder bowed low before her. Yes, my queen. I will track down the crystal and eliminate anyone who stands in our way. Rita's eyes sparkled with malevolent glee as she envisioned her plan unfolding, a world where she reigned supreme once more. A new threat emerges. Back at the spaceship, Jason and his friends continued their training when Alpha 5 interrupted them with an urgent message. Rangers. We have detected unusual energy readings near the town's outskirts. What does that mean? Marcus asked, concern etched on his face. It could be Rita's doing, Zordon warned gravely. She may be attempting to locate the Zeo crystal. We have to stop her," Jason declared, adrenaline coursing through him. The group quickly suited up in their ranger uniforms, each one glowing with vibrant colors that reflected their unique powers. As they prepared for battle, Jason felt a sense of responsibility wash over him. He was not just fighting for themselves but for everyone in their town. The confrontation. Arriving at the outskirts of town, they found themselves facing Rita and Golder amidst a swirling vortex of dark energy. The air crackled with tension as Rita turned her gaze upon them. Well, well. If it isn't my little rangers," she taunted mockingly. "You think you can stop me? I'll enjoy watching you fail." Jason stepped forward defiantly. "We won't let you take the Zeo crystal or hurt anyone." Rita laughed wickedly as Golder unsheathed his sword menacingly. "Then prepare for battle." The fight erupted quickly. Jason led his team into action as they engaged Golder in combat while trying to protect each other from Rita's dark magic. Unleashing their powers. As they fought fiercely against Golder's brute strength and Rita's spells, Jason remembered Zordon's teachings about teamwork and strategy. He called out commands to his friends, encouraging them to combine their powers. "Lila! Use your telekinesis to disarm him," he shouted. Lila focused her energy and managed to lift Golder's sword from his grasp momentarily while Marcus darted in for a quick strike. "Now, Kimberly! Hit him with your strength," Jason directed. Kimberly charged forward with newfound confidence and delivered a powerful blow that sent Golder staggering back. But just as they thought they had gained an advantage, Rita unleashed a wave of dark energy that knocked them all off balance. "Foolish children! You think you can defeat me?" she shrieked triumphantly. A test of strength. As they regrouped and caught their breath, Jason realized that they needed to dig deeper within themselves if they were going to stand against Rita's overwhelming power. "Remember what we've trained for," he urged his friends. "We're stronger together." With renewed determination coursing through them, they rallied once more, each ranger tapping into their unique abilities while working in unison. Jason felt his strength surge as he charged at Golder again. Lila used her powers to create barriers against Rita's attacks while Marcus healed minor injuries sustained during battle. In that moment of unity and trust among friends, something extraordinary happened. Their powers began to resonate together as if forming an unbreakable bond that amplified their strength tenfold. Victory or defeat? With one final coordinated attack, Jason leading the charge while Kimberly followed closely behind, they unleashed everything they had against Golder and Rita simultaneously. The clash was intense, energy crackled around them as they fought fiercely against darkness itself. But just when it seemed victory might be within reach, Rita unleashed one last desperate spell, a powerful surge aimed directly at Jason. "No!" Lila shouted as she pushed him out of harm's way, but it was too late. Darkness enveloped them all in an explosion of chaos. As smoke cleared from the battlefield where they had fought valiantly against evil forces, silence fell over everything around them. Had they succeeded? Or had darkness claimed victory once more? The battle for control. The sun hung low in the sky as Jason and the newly formed team of Power Rangers gathered at the gold mine once more. The weight of their responsibilities pressed heavily on their shoulders, but they were determined to face the challenges ahead. With Zordon's guidance echoing in their minds, they knew they had to prepare for the imminent threat posed by Rita and her dark forces. Training intensifies. As they entered the spaceship, Alpha 5 greeted them with a sense of urgency. "Rangers! Time is of the essence. You must train harder than ever to unlock your true potential." Jason stepped forward, his resolve firm. "We're ready. Just tell us what we need to do." "Excellent." Alpha 5 replied, leading them to a vast training arena filled with advanced technology and holographic simulations. You will face various challenges designed to test your physical abilities, teamwork, and strategic thinking. The team split into pairs for combat training. Jason and Kimberly faced off against Zack and Trini while Billy observed, taking notes on their techniques. Remember to work together. Billy shouted as he watched them spar. Use your strengths to complement each other. As they trained, Jason felt a surge of confidence. He had taken on the role of leader, and with each passing day, he grew more comfortable in that position. However, doubt still lingered in his mind. Could he truly lead them against Rita? A glimpse of the future. After hours of rigorous training, Zordon summoned them to the control room. Rangers, I must show you something important, he said solemnly. The screen flickered to life, revealing a dark vision of their town engulfed in chaos. Rita stood triumphant amidst a sea of stone statues, people frozen in fear as she unleashed her power. This is what will happen if we fail, Zordon warned. Rita seeks the Zeo crystal to dominate all life on Earth. You must not allow this vision to become reality. The team exchanged worried glances, realizing the gravity of their mission. We can't let this happen, Jason said firmly. We'll do whatever it takes to stop her. The calm before the storm. Days passed as they trained relentlessly, honing their skills and growing closer as a team. They shared laughter and stories during breaks, forming bonds that transcended their roles as rangers. One evening, while resting after an intense training session, Kimberly turned to Jason. Do you ever wonder what it would be like if we didn't have these powers? If we were just, normal kids? Jason considered her question carefully. Sometimes. But then I remember why we're doing this. We have a chance to make a difference. I just hope we're ready when the time comes, Kimberly replied softly. As they spoke, a sense of unease settled over them, a feeling that something was coming. Rita strikes. Their fears were soon realized when Rita unleashed her first wave of attacks on the town. News reports flooded in about strange occurrences, people disappearing, buildings crumbling, and chaos erupting everywhere. Rangers. We must act quickly. Zordon urged as they gathered in the control room. Where do we start? Trini asked, determination etched on her face. Rita will likely target key locations to draw out your powers, Zordon explained. You must protect these areas at all costs. With a plan in place, Jason led his team into action, each ranger donning their suits with renewed purpose. The first confrontation. As they arrived at the town square, they found Rita's minions wreaking havoc, monstrous creatures terrorizing innocent civilians. The sight fueled their resolve, they couldn't let fear win. Let's show them what we've got. Jason shouted as they charged into battle. The fight was fierce, each ranger utilized their unique abilities. Zack's agility allowed him to dodge attacks while delivering powerful kicks, Trini's precision strikes incapacitated enemies with ease, Kimberly's acrobatics dazzled as she flipped through the air. But amidst the chaos, Rita appeared, her presence darkening the atmosphere around them. Ah! The little rangers have come out to play, she taunted with a wicked grin. How delightful! Get out of our town! Jason shouted defiantly. Rita laughed maniacally before summoning Golder from the shadows, a towering figure clad in golden armor that radiated menace. Golder! Show them no mercy, she commanded. A test of teamwork. The battle escalated as Golder charged at Jason with ferocious strength. Jason narrowly dodged his attack but quickly realized that brute force alone wouldn't be enough, they needed strategy. Team up, he yelled to his friends. We can't take him down alone. As Golder swung his sword violently, Jason coordinated their movements. Zack distracted Golder from one side while Trini launched an attack from another angle. Now! Jason shouted as they executed their plan flawlessly, combining their powers for a powerful strike that sent Golder staggering back. But Rita was relentless, she retaliated with dark magic that engulfed them in shadowy tendrils. Facing their fears. Just when it seemed like defeat was imminent, Jason remembered Zordon's words about harnessing their inner strength. He closed his eyes and focused on the bond they had formed, their friendship and shared purpose ignited a fire within him. We can do this together, he shouted, rallying his friends around him. With newfound determination coursing through them, they unleashed a combined attack, a brilliant burst of energy that illuminated the darkness surrounding them. The light pushed back against Rita's magic and sent Golder reeling. No! Rita screamed in frustration as she struggled against their united front. In that moment of unity and strength, something extraordinary happened. Their powers resonated together like never before, amplifying their abilities beyond what they thought possible. Victory at a cost. With one final push fueled by teamwork and unwavering resolve, they struck Golder down, defeating him momentarily but knowing that Rita would return stronger than ever. As silence fell over the battlefield and cheers erupted from grateful townsfolk around them, Jason felt a mix of triumph and trepidation. They had won this battle but knew that war was far from over. "We did it!" Kimberly exclaimed breathlessly as they regrouped. "But at what cost?" Trini murmured thoughtfully as she glanced at the destruction around them. Jason nodded solemnly. There was still much work ahead if they were to protect their town, and each other, from the darkness that loomed ever closer. The final confrontation. The sun began to set over the horizon, casting an orange glow across the landscape as Jason and his friends prepared for the battle that would determine the fate of their town, and possibly the world. They had trained hard under Zordon's guidance, learning to harness their newfound powers and work together as a cohesive unit. But now, the time had come to face Rita and her dark forces. Gathering strength. As they gathered at the spaceship, Jason felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety. He looked around at his friends, Kimberly, Billy, Zach, and Trini, and saw determination reflected in their eyes. They had come a long way from being ordinary teenagers to becoming Power Rangers, but this battle would be their greatest test yet. "Are you all ready?" Jason asked, trying to instill confidence in his team. "We've trained for this," Kimberly replied, her voice steady. "We can do it." Zordon's voice echoed through the control room. "Rangers, remember that your strength lies not only in your powers but in your unity. Trust one another and fight with courage." With those words resonating in their hearts, they suited up in their Ranger uniforms, each color representing their unique abilities. Jason felt the familiar rush of energy as he donned his red suit. It was time to embrace his role as leader. The calm before the storm. As they arrived at the town square, they found it eerily quiet. The streets were deserted, and an unsettling feeling hung in the air. "Where is everyone?" Zach asked, scanning the surroundings. "They must be hiding," Billy suggested. "Rita's presence is enough to scare anyone away." Suddenly, a dark cloud descended upon them, and Rita appeared with a menacing grin. "Ah, my little Rangers. I've been waiting for you," she taunted. "You think you can stop me? You're nothing but children. Your reign of terror ends here." Jason shouted defiantly. Rita laughed wickedly as she summoned Golder from the shadows. "Golder. Show them what true power looks like. The battle begins." The ground shook as Golder charged at them with ferocious strength. Jason quickly coordinated their movements. "Zach. Flank him from the left. Kimberly, cover him from above." The team sprang into action, working together seamlessly as they engaged Golder in combat. Each Ranger utilized their unique abilities. Zach's agility allowed him to dodge Golder's attacks while delivering swift kicks. Kimberly's acrobatics dazzled as she flipped through the air. Billy used his intelligence to strategize their moves. But Rita wasn't just standing by. She unleashed waves of dark magic that threatened to overwhelm them. "You think you can defeat me? I will crush you all," she screamed. "Stay focused." Jason shouted as they fought back against Rita's magic while trying to keep Golder at bay. A desperate fight. As the battle raged on, it became clear that they were outmatched. Golder was relentless, and Rita's magic was powerful. One by one, they began to tire. "Jason. We need a plan." Trini yelled as she narrowly dodged an attack from Golder. "Let's regroup." Jason called out, leading them behind a nearby building for cover. We can't keep this up forever, Billy panted. We need to find a way to weaken them. Suddenly, Jason remembered Zordon's teachings about teamwork and unity. We have to combine our powers. If we can channel our energy together, we might stand a chance. The power of unity. As they regrouped behind cover, Jason rallied his friends. We need to focus on our strengths and trust each other completely. Right. Kimberly agreed. Let's do this. They formed a circle and placed their hands together over the glowing Zeo crystal that pulsed with energy between them. As they concentrated on their bond and shared purpose, they felt a surge of power coursing through them, a bright light enveloped them as their individual strengths combined into one formidable force. Now! Jason shouted as they unleashed their united energy toward Golder and Rita. The blast hit Golder squarely in the chest, sending him staggering back while Rita screamed in fury. No! This cannot be happening. Facing Rita. With renewed strength and determination, they charged at Rita together. You've caused enough pain. Jason declared as he confronted her directly. Rita glared at him with hatred in her eyes. You think you can defeat me? I am eternal. But Jason stood firm. Not if we have anything to say about it. As they engaged Rita in battle, each ranger utilized their unique abilities. Zack distracted her with swift movements while Kimberly launched aerial attacks from above. Trini used her agility to evade spells while Billy provided support with strategic strikes. In an epic showdown of light versus darkness, they fought valiantly against Rita's relentless magic. The final showdown. Just when it seemed like victory might slip through their fingers again, Zordon's voice echoed in Jason's mind, the true power lies within your unity. With that thought igniting a fire within him, Jason called out to his friends once more, together. We can end this. They combined their energies one last time, focusing everything they had into one final attack aimed directly at Rita. The explosion of light illuminated the entire town square as their combined powers clashed against Rita's dark magic. For a moment, time stood still, the forces of good and evil collided in a brilliant display of energy. And then, silence. A new dawn. As the dust settled and the light faded away, Rita was nowhere to be found, defeated by the strength of unity among the Rangers. We did it! Kimberly exclaimed breathlessly as they all stood together in disbelief. Jason looked around at his friends, their faces filled with relief and joy. They had faced unimaginable odds and emerged victorious together. But even amidst their triumph, Jason knew that this was only one battle won in an ongoing war against darkness. The world would always need protectors, heroes willing to stand up for what was right. Embracing their roles. As they celebrated their victory with hugs and laughter, Zordon's voice echoed once more through their minds, you are now true Power Rangers. Jason smiled at his friends, his team, and felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. They were more than just individuals with powers, they were a family bound by courage and determination. With newfound confidence coursing through them all, they looked toward the future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead together as Power Rangers, guardians of peace and protectors of life itself.